Hey, what's up, guys? We are at Heart of the Game right now, and who are we with?
Tristan. I play Dinomorphia, and it's a fun deck.
Yes, you've probably seen them on stream actually quite a few times. A lot of you people have are excited usually when it comes through and plays the Dino, so I wanted to deck profile him. He recently got second place at one of our local tournaments, and I wanted to see what's going on since we haven't had it on the channel before, and he seems like an expert on it. So before we get into it, do you have any shout-outs?
Shoutouts to my best friend Zaire, because he's the one that got me back into YuGiOh after like a decade of not playing, and I've always played trap decks, so he got me into Dinomorphia.
Nice. All right, 40 card main deck?
Yes, 40 cards. I never stray above 40, even in decks that typically have over 40. I just like the consistency.
Sounds good. Let's see what's going on.
Alright, so first things first, we have triple Theresia. Honestly, it's just the best normal summon in the deck. You don't even really want her in your hand, you just want her in the deck. You want all the Dinomorphias in the deck, but best card in the deck by far. Next, we have double Diplos. 2 Diplos, I mean, you could run 3 if you want. Again, you don't really want to have them in hand. None of the 5 dinos you want in hand at all. Next, we have 3 Wannabe. I, for some reason, can't find a third one. It is really hard card to find. I run Fossil Big instead, just to get one in case you don't. But 3 Wannabe, you could just play this, and you can even just go set 4, end phase, Wannabe, and then get a 5th trap. Otherwise, this card is great. You could do it if you're going second. This card saves you sometimes.
Yeah.
In the event that your opponent has a board and you're like, I need to set 5. I have 5 traps in my hand. And I'm going second. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Next are the traps for the deck. 3 Domain. This is the fusion spell. It's a fusion trap. It's basically just branded fusion. Really good. It's branded fusion. And 3 Frenzy. This card actually comes up less than Domain sometimes, just because Domain you're required 2 from the deck, or hand, field, whatever, but this requires 1 from the deck, 1 from the extra deck. So sometimes if you go Domain, summon Theresia, use Theresia effect to copy the Domain, and sometimes you just run out of dinosaurs and you just can't activate Frenzy. But Frenzy, sometimes it's good sometimes to summon Kentrigina with Frenzy instead of Rexstorm, and then use Kentrigina to copy the Frenzy, so that way you can get both a Kentrigina and a Rexstorm on your board to get your life points down to 2k instead of 4, because if you just go Frenzy, summon Rexstorm, you're at 4,000 life points, and your Rexstorm doesn't do anything.
Yep.
Next, we got the one-offs.
How do you like the one-offs?
I see a lot of lists not play Intact. I'm honestly very surprised. This card is really, really good. Because,
what does it do?
So Intact is a monster negate as long as you have another Dinomorphia card, and since all of your cards are ashable, all of your fusion traps, so you go Frenzy, they chain Ash, you can go Intact because it requires that you control a Dinomorphia card, not a Dinomorphia monster.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So since you control the card, you can negate, and it's a counter trap, so they can't even respond to it, and then you get the free fusion. Alert is just, honestly, if you run out of dinos, you just need this card. I've had the issue where I've run out of dinos in the deck a lot, so you go Alert, bring 2 back, or you could bring back the Rexstorm. You could bring back the Kentrigina, you just can't bring back multiple. But this card is great for the grind game, and you can set it off things like Trap Trick. Sonic, this is the card that, if anything, I don't know why people play it as much as it is. It's a spell trap negate, which you can obviously use for stuff like Harpy's Feather Duster and things like that, but it requires that you pop one of your monsters. Unlike Intact, which requires that you control a Dinomorphia card, this requires you control a monster, and you have to pop it. So if all you control is Rexstorm, you have to pop your Rexstorm. And yes, Rexstorm has the follow-up effect where he can bring one back from the grave, but you would most likely use it on one of the Theresia or Diplos. So that's kind of in my opinion, the worst one of. Next, we have Triple Soul. You can take out 1. I don't know what I would replace it with. This burns half your life points. You bring out the big guy. And the big guy is great because it has a secret effect, even though this negates the effect. And people are more worried about the grave effect, where you banish it to bring out Crystal Wing.
Yeah.
If they just pop the Zark, this dude goes back into the. You summon it in the Pendulum Zone. He's basically Rexstorm. Like your opponent, unless they have link monsters, they can't do anything.
Oh yeah.
It has the same negate effect, except for its fusion, pendulum, exceeds, and synchro monster.
Wow. So you really like that little engine for Zark, yeah?
Yes, the Zark. Why not? Yeah, the Zark is really good. Triple Solemn. This is mainly used for spells and traps. I think that it's just they use harpies, you chain Solemn, or if they have a normal summon that like they go normal summon, you go Solemn, and then you ask like, hey, do you have any quick effects on res? And then on res you go Rexstorm effect. I mean you go one of the fusion traps, so that way you can negate their summon and you get the 3 Zia. I mean Kentragina into Rexstorm combo starter. Double Fair Flames. You could run 3. I'd run 2.
That card's insane.
This card is busted. It's like evenly, but on steroids.
Yeah.
Instead of vanishing face down, it spins stuff back into the deck, and it can wipe the entire field. Not
most often, always, yeah.
Yeah, like if you're down to like 250 life points, you flip Ferret Flames, you spin their whole board.
Yep.
Next are the hand traps. I play a really heavy hand trap version of the deck because I like to play the deck as pure as possible. You could also play like Labyrinth with it and stuff like that, but I like to play the deck pure, so I use a lot of hand traps because you do not need much non-engine. I mean, you have a lot of non-engine space. So I run Triple Ash, pretty standard. Triple Ghost Mourner. This card is busted. I don't know why more people don't play this. Not just with Dinomorphia, but with like any deck with a lot of hand trap space. They go, oh, I link summon into Striker Dragon. You just go Ghost Mourner. It's basically Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler as well. Just this is mainly for the normal summons because this is only on special summon monsters.
Yeah.
Also, Ghost Mourner is also good in time because this deck burns your life points a lot, and so if they remove a monster with, let's say, a big ass amount of attack, you could just use this, and then if they remove it from the field somehow, or if you remove it from the field, they take a huge amount of damage, and that could potentially save you time. Triple Droll. This card is honestly.
Do you like in the main?
I've actually, but this is one of the cards that I might cut in the main. I have been having less and less success with it. It's great against the decks that it's great against.
Yeah.
But in a lot of matchups, I find that I'm siding this out, like against decks like Lab, against decks that are like trouble for the main. I end up siding this out. I don't know what I would replace it with, but this is definitely something that I'm thinking about cutting. And finally, Triple Imperm, pretty standard. So I play a lot of hand traps. I play 3, 6, 9, 12. I have 15 hand traps in the deck, and it feels great. Honestly, I don't have any situations where I don't think I've ever had a situation where I draw into 5 hand traps turn 1. Like usually it's like you draw 4 hand traps and a trap, like 4 hand traps and a fusion trap, 3 traps, whatever, and your opponent just can't win the game.
Love it. Let's see the extra deck.
Yeah. Extra deck. Pretty standard as well. I got Triple Rexstorm. This card is broken.
The best guy.
The best guy. The only issue with him is that he has basically no protection. So, the big issue with this deck is that like this deck gets countered by cards that people don't play a lot. So like this could just die to like a Raigeki. You know, like, you just play Raigeki and this guy just blows up. But most people don't play Raigeki, and so like they have to like normal summon a guy and they just can't activate any effects.
Yeah.
You just
most of the time it's just game.
Yeah, most of the time you put Rexstorm. If you put Rexstorm on board, it's game. Kentragina, this card is great because if you can summon Kentragina, burn half your life points, pay her effect to copy the fusion summon again. So now you're down to like 2k life points. You bring out a Rexstorm. It's just broken. Honestly, like this card I would say is even better than Rexstorm because it has the effect to burn your life points. 2 Stealth Bergia. This is just for the Frenzy. I've never one summoned it. I honestly don't even know what its effect is.
I saw a Dino player summon on me last night for the first time. It did nothing.
3 Zark. You can cut this down to 1.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
You can cut it down to 2. I mean, not 1. I wouldn't say 1, but you can cut this down to 2. Instead of this, you could play. So I play 1 Crystal Wing. Instead of 3 Zark, you could play 1 Zark and 2 Zark and a Crystal Wing and like a Starving Venom, I don't know. With the Soul, like, none of the Fusion Dragon, Synchro Dragon, Pendulum Dragon, and Ishizu Dragons have any good effects except for the Synchro Dragon ones. Clear Wing is a bit worse than Crystal Wing, but Crystal Wing is the best one. So, like, if you want, you could go into the Fusion Dragon, but I wouldn't. Evil Sorlagia, I find this more important than Dolka because you have way more ways to get over monster effects. This negates spells and traps. Again, this deck really gets run over by spells and traps. Zeus, in case you attack with the Logia. And the last card is any Link monster. I play Unicorn just because, like, sometimes you have 2 monsters on board. You can use Alert, things like that. And then you can just, like, normal summon a hand trap, Link into Unicorn, spin a guy. Any Link monster would work. Just SB if you have it. I don't, unfortunately.
Would you run Typhon?
Typhon,
or does it hurt you too much?
Yeah, Rexsturm is basically Typhon at home anyway. So, like...
That doesn't hurt yourself, yeah.
Yeah, so you can cut, like, any of the Zark. Like, one of the Zarks you can definitely cut.
Sure.
For the side deck, we can go through this pretty fast. It's mainly just stuff to help the bad matchups. 2 Nib. I've never once used Nib, honestly. Rexsturm alone is usually enough to stop a combo deck.
That makes sense.
And I play so many hand traps that, like, this doesn't really ever come up. This is the secret sauce. Triple Lava Golem.
Golem is so good right now, bro. It's so good.
I just added this today, and it did me so well in the tournament because I opened double Lava Golem against a combo player, and I just ruined their day. This deck doesn't need its normal summon because you just set a bunch of back row and then you pass turn. So you just Lava Golem their board and then they just cry. Double Ghost Spell, I used to play 3, but I swapped it out for a Lava Golem. This is just great in the lab matchup. Harpies, again, usually just for the back row heavy matchups. This deck really struggles against back row. And triple Cosmic, this might look weird because I burn all my life points, but this is mainly just used as sort of like a pseudo board breaker. I use it like going second, excuse me. I usually use it going second, like they have a back row, they have a runic fountain, they have like a labyrinth thing. You go this, burn yourself for 1,000, then you just go into your plays. I would never use it like later on in the grind game, so you could swap it for something else, which...
Lightning Storms, maybe?
Lightning Storms, yeah, that would also be pretty good.
What's up, buddy? What's going on?
2 Trap Trick and double D
peace out, bro.
You could run 3 D-Barrier if you want. You could run 3 Trap Trick if you want. Maybe take out a Cosmic or something. But I went into this a lot. It kind of sucks with D-Barrier because this is a fusion-centered deck, so if you go up against other fusion decks, you just can't make it. So
but you need it for those decks, like Purrely and Fusions,
I used Trap Trick into D-Barrier twice against Synchro today, and I just cried. So I like the side deck as it is. I like to play a lot of board breakers in my side decks because, like, this deck is, like, the boss monster is a floodgate, so I don't think that you really need anything for, like, I don't think you need many hand traps on the side deck, and there's not many tech cards, just board breakers are pretty good.
Sounds good. You heard it here first, folks. Board breakers and the hand traps in the main, so thank you very much for the deck profile. We'll be seeing you guys around. Bye now.